Created by West Tech, the T-45 powered combat infantry armor was the first design of its kind pressed into service during the Sino-American War, as the development of power armor by West Tech began only in August 2065. The T-45 lacked the mobility of future versions, but the ability to wield heavy ordnance and excellent protection proved to change the nature of modern warfare, but lagged behind. The T-45 was effectively a stopgap model utilizing existing technologies and manufacturing techniques. There were known design flaws by the West Tech team, but the management team, including Bud Askins, rushed the T-45 out as quickly as possible. This temporary solution would eventually become the mainstay of American power armor units. The original prototypes survived to 2077 and were slated to become literal museum pieces at the Museum of Technology on the National Mall in 2078. Harold Frost, one of the T-45's original designers, would later go on to design the excavator power armor for the Garahan Mining Company. Even being the first generation, rushed multiple issues during production. The T-45 power armor suit is still beyond powerful to have in the wasteland and ignites fear when someone sees one. It is a dream of many wastelanders to own one. The T-51 was the very first type of power armor introduced in the Fallout series, prominently displayed on the cover of the first game, and featuring in virtually every game since. It was created by West Tech under contract from the United States government, and represented the company's single largest contract. Following a 10-year development cycle, the T-51 finally entered service in June 2076, just a year and a half before the bomb drops. The first production run of T-51B suits was sent to China in June 2076, immediately outperforming the T-45. Their impact was tremendous, with some Chinese troops eventually surrendering as soon as they spotted soldiers wearing T-51 armor carrying around 5mm miniguns. The introduction of the T-51 was a great improvement on the T-45 and was loved by many during the war. It fixed many issues with the T-45 like stronger and lighter shells, better hydraulics, and kinetic absorption traits. However, the T-51 demonstrated the full scope of its abilities in January 2077, when General Constantine Chase secured victory in Anchorage reclamation, thanks to his mechanized troops, equipped with winterized T-51B power armor. T-51 series was not the most advanced power armor model in active military use by the time of the Great War. That distinction belonged to the T-60 power armor series. The T-60 series of powered combat infantry armor is an evolution of the T-45 power armor design. The T-60 was used extensively by the U.S. Army in all theaters, as well as on the domestic front, enforcing order in the nation, while still having issues, very few at that, and seeing very little use and application before the bombs dropped. It still handily took the cake as the most powerful iteration. While the T-51 was the poster child for Fallout 1, it was seen in many of the promo pieces. The lore gained from the show on the T-60 generation was wonderful. I can't wait for Season 2. Hopefully we see more iterations in Season 2. Commissioned by the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the development of the X-01 began shortly before the Great War. However, although the suit was technically functional by late 2077, a single suit of X-01 was provided to the Nuka-Cola Corporation as part of Project Cobalt. Further development was made impossible due to the outbreak of the Great War. After the Great War, a select few suits were engineered further and employed by remnants of the U.S. military, like the Enclave and Brotherhood of Steel, as well as the Institute. This allowed the Enclave to create a limited production run of the suits, and further development of the X-01 suit. The Institute, despite lacking access to the prototype schematics, the Institute had developed a modified polymerized casting mix to coat the armor, as well as other modifications that enhanced the user's intelligence. The X-01 would not exist without the T-45 generation, laying the perfect foundation for growth. The X-01 would not be as defensive and user-friendly if not for the T-51 generation. The X-01 needed the T-60 generation to iron out everything and be a masterpiece to cap off the T-series, before it could be reimagined and improved upon only after hundreds of years of thought. The X-01 is truly a conglomerate of all three previous generations. Whilst the halt in production and development after the Great War, the X-01 was inevitable and was always meant to shine. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it very much. If you enjoyed, drop a like. Love you all.